And the next economic aspect of globalization is nothing but liberalization of foreign trade and foreign investment policy. What is foreign trade and foreign investment policy? Okay, before going into the topic, this is Sudhir N signing in, HOD of Social Department. What is liberalization of foreign trade and foreign investment policy? Trade liberalization is the removal or reduction of restrictions or barriers on the free exchange of goods between nations. These barriers include tariffs such as duties and surcharges, and non-tariff barriers such as licensing rules and quotas. Economic liberalization means reducing government interference in economic activities and removing trade and business barriers. Liberalization of trade and investment policies helped the globalization process in the following points and ways. Number one, business are free to make decisions for foreign import and export. Number two, foreign companies could easily set up factories and industries in a country after liberalization. The Indian government after independence had put barriers to foreign trade and foreign investment. This was considered necessary to protect the producers within the country from foreign competitions. Industries were just coming up in the 1950s and 1960s, and competitions from import at the stage would not have allowed these industries to survive. Thus, India allowed imports of only essential items such as machinery, fertilizers, petroleum, etc. However, starting around 1991, some far-reaching charging policies were made in India. The government decided that the time had come for Indian producers to compete with producers around the globe. It felt that competitions would improve the performances of producers within the country, since they would have to improve their quality. These decisions were supported by powerful international organizations. Thus, barriers on foreign trade and foreign investment were removed to a large extent. This means that goods could be imported and exported easily, and also foreign companies could set up factories and offices over here. So thus we can understand, removing barriers or restrictions set up by the government is known as liberalization. So with liberalization of trade, businesses are allowed to make decisions freely about what they wish to import or export. Thus, the government imposes much less restrictions than before and is therefore said to be more liberal. Institutions of global governance. Today, many decisions and key issues were being taken by institutions of global governance. Who are global governance, and what are the institutions of global governance? Institutions of global governance are the United Nations, the International Criminal Court, the World Bank, etc. Issue of climate change is a good example to paraphrase. Initially, the issue of reducing carbon emission were left to individual countries. However, it was soon found that if one country were to attempt to reduce carbon emission, industry could just shift to another locations where there are lower regulations. Consequently, the issue of emissions and climate change have to be tackled by countries among together.